afternoon, everybody. Wanted to give you an update on a storm system that's going to be rolling through with a lot of wintry precipitation, quite a bit of snow, and then a little bit of sleet, or for a bunch of us over southern Vermont. It's going to kind of come in two waves. First wave's not going to be that significant, but it will impact our day tomorrow a little bit in the afternoon with some light snow, probably just a coating to a couple of inches of snow for most of us. And then a much more significant wave, which will come through late Monday evening through Tuesday at about noontime, with accumulating snow and a bunch of sleet for a lot of us, especially in Bennington and Windham counties. So let's look at the details of what's going on. We've got this big high pressure system that has been developing that's been in place sort of over the center of the country, very cold Arctic high, and then we've got this sort of frontal boundary here, which you can't see everywhere, but basically the storm track is running up along this boundary, and we're going to look at exactly where that is later on. This is the low pressure system that's developing right now that will give us a little bit of snow tomorrow afternoon, and then we're going to get a reinforcing low pressure system that's kind of from this piece of energy and the upper level energy that's associated with that, which is going to develop over the Gulf Coast tomorrow during the day and kind of race up in our direction overnight tomorrow night and into Tuesday morning. In terms of satellite, you can see the two different pieces. We've got this storm developing here, and as you can see, we're going to see on radar, but this is mostly going to trend, most of the heaviest precipitation with this is going to trend well to our south, but we're going to get a little bit of precipitation developing under these clouds, which are developing here, which will come through with some light snow tomorrow. And then our main player is this storm here, which you can see on the satellite imagery has plenty of energy associated with it. Radar shows you that here's this slug of moisture. There's a lot of moisture here, and this is kind of all the heat that's being generated by the convection here is enhancing our ridge over the east coast, which is why we're going to get into some sleet tomorrow. But this part of the storm is going to mostly slide out to sea, like I said, south and east of us with just a little bit of snow. You can't even really see it. It hasn't even really started to develop precipitation on the northwest side of the storm, which will be what gets in here for us tomorrow afternoon. This storm here is starting to get together. It has just hasn't even really started to tap Gulf moisture yet, but as it does, we'll really see that become a pretty impressive system. It is going to be a fast mover, so even for those areas in northern Rutland and northern Windsor County that see all snow, it's not going to be a huge snow producer because it's going to move right along. Temperatures, you can see coldest air is to our west, and when you're going to notice we don't have a lot of real cold air here north of us in Canada. It's mostly to our northwest, but this is why we're getting the big storm. We've got this huge temperature contrast between lots of sections of the center part of the country, negatives below zero, and not super warm here across the southeast, but plenty warm, upper mid to upper 40s, excuse me. In Florida, it's actually quite warm. That ridge across Florida is really going with temperatures in the mid 80s for a lot of southern Florida. So, if you want to get away from the snow, that's where to go. But I think here's the key to where our storm track is going to go and why I think sleet will make its way in here. If you look, this is temperature anomalies at 850 millibars. That's kind of the low to mid level of the atmosphere. And I think where you see this huge temperature contrast, that's going to be the storm track. And you notice that it kind of crosses right. The storm will move just to the east of this, but you notice how there's no way it doesn't kind of kink north of us and kind of no chance for it to ride up along the coast. It's going to kind of inhibit, because of the way where the temperature boundary is set up, it's going to inhibit secondary low pressure reforming off the coast, which would hold the cold air in here longer. And it is going to allow, not at the surface, we're going to stay below freezing at the surface for the entire storm, but it is going to allow for our temperatures to stay to get above freezing at the low to mid levels of the atmosphere, which is going to mean that we change over to sleet for a significant portion of the storm. Before I show you the forecast details in the snowfall map, I want to just remind you, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel before, you should definitely do that. It allows you to make sure that you don't miss any of my important weather forecasts. And also I do a Monday morning or a work week forecast on Monday mornings usually, although Tuesday this week because it's a long weekend. And on Fridays I do a forecast for the week, my weekend forecast. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of those, and when I post special weather updates, subscribe to the channel. Here's what we're looking at in terms of snowfall. I think this could definitely still change, but I think across very northern parts of Rutland and Windsor County, we're mostly snow, and where it stays mostly snow, 6 to 10 inches, wouldn't even be surprised if it stays all snow here to get up to a foot of snow in some of those locations. And then we've got kind of our transition zone, these two bluish colors here of where we're going to be in the transition of sleet. they'll get quite a bit of snow here before we change over to sleet, I think. So we're looking at 5 to 8 inches, then 4 to 6 inches. Down here in the southern part of Bennington and Windham County, we're looking at a lot more sleet mixed in, so that's 3 to 5 inches. These numbers could shift depending on where exactly, and there's probably going to be a pretty hard cutoff. Wouldn't be surprised, right now, wouldn't be surprised if a place even like Ludlow or certainly like Mount Holly got 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 inches of snow and only got a little bit of sleet at the end. And here, like where I am in Londonderry, we only got 4 to 5 inches of snow with a lot of sleet mixed in. We're only about 15 miles apart, 20 miles apart from here to Mount Holly. So not a big difference. It's the cutoff between those two areas will be pretty stark. And then it will be mostly snow anywhere from I think, certainly Route 4, I think basically north will be mostly snow. So that's why I think a solid 6 to 10, maybe even a little bit more there. However, again, that line could move, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. In terms of details, storm comes in 2 waves. The first wave is not really that big a deal. That's tomorrow. It should start around noon or just before noon. It'll run till late in the afternoon, just a few hours of some light snow, basically. Accumulations 1 to 2 inches. Some places won't even see an inch, but probably a coating, at least in most places. Could be a little slick tomorrow afternoon if you're driving around. And if you have to, if you're driving, if you've been here for President's Day weekend and you're heading home, it could be a little slick driving home tomorrow until you get probably south of Albany if you're headed back towards like the New York City metro area. Second wave comes Monday night, late evening, probably starting somewhere in the 8 to 10 p.m. range till Tuesday around noon. Snow starts with snow to start, and then lots of sleet will mix in after midnight, and that sleet line will slowly move north. And like I said, stays mostly snow north of Route 4, generally 4 to 6 inches for most of us, with up to 10 inches for northern Rutland and Windsor counties. Roads will be bad on Tuesday, whether we're sleet or snow. It'll be bad on Tuesday. So if you got to travel on Tuesday, push it off as late as you can into the afternoon. Roads should be getting better as you push it off. Okay, I will be back with an update probably tomorrow sometime, probably in the morning before noon tomorrow. I should have an update on the details and probably a final snowfall forecast, see if the models move around at all tonight as the midnight models come out. I wouldn't anticipate a huge difference in the model runs though. And and then I'll be back on Tuesday morning with my work week forecast. We'll probably be talking about a snowstorm in progress or a sleet storm in progress on Tuesday morning when I come back for my work week forecast. Like I said, I want to say a quick thank you to my patrons who help support what I do here. If you want to become a patron or if you're interested in that, I've got a video you can watch that talks about what it means to be a patron, or you can just follow the link to my Patreon site. All right, I will be back soon, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the YouTube comments, or you can ask on through Facebook, or you can even shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to answer any specific questions you have about the storm. Thanks for joining me, and we'll be back soon with some additional looks at this winter storm.